So what beautiful photographs of the airport from various angles. I'm very happy to be with you this afternoon. My name is Fredrik Kempf. I'm a Director of Industry Affairs at an association which I will present in a few minutes. And I would like to briefly discuss with you the new aviation era that we have in front of us, the benefits and opportunities with electric aviation. So let's see if we can shift to the slide. Yes. So I represent the Swedish Aviation Industry Group, and we have a motto. We want to be the association where aviation meets. We had, before the corona crisis, some 100 member companies from all across the aviation world, let's say, from airlines to airports and also manufacturing companies, as you see on your right side. We have cooperation with Nordic, European and international stakeholders, and we have stable and good relationships with politics and decision makers. I will discuss with you a bit about the development of electric aviation that we are right in the middle of, but we have to see this also from a wider perspective. Sweden has an electrification strategy and aviation is part of it. On this slide you see just I made some screen dumps from information from the government's website. We have there the actual startskottet for the electrification strategy. On the very left side, which was taken last year. We had in the middle, the next step was to form an electrification commission, which looked only at the electrification of transport. And in that commission, aviation is solid part of it. And I am representing aviation in that electrification commission. Transport is changing. Aviation is evolving. I don't know if you've seen it. It's happening all around us. We see need for more transport, also different transport. The world is not getting smaller. The world is getting bigger, and we are becoming more people as well. We see quick development now, probably also underpinned by the crisis that we are in about new technologies. We see and hear about new and different providers of transports. We see new business models who would consider that we would see all these kick bikes, electric scooters in the cities some years ago, but now they are all over, whether we liked it or not. We see also that these actors have no new conditions to face. And we, as customers and politicians on your side, we have new and higher expectations on these transports. And all around this, we have an increased need for better sustainability, a better world that we leave to our children. And this is a bit the context that we are also working in aviation, and I call it here Innovaviation. Innovaviation, to me, is the concept of where we are right now. We are trying to re-innovate aviation system because we have to, and because we can. We need to develop increased efficiency. We need to have access to more biofuel. We will start looking at hydrogen aviation. And importantly for this presentation, we are already in the era of electric aviation. Now, this is all happening because we have to and because it's possible. The future aviation doesn't look like the past aviation or even the aviation system that we are in right now. I took this slide from Aerodays, which was organized by the German Research Center for Aeronautics in November last year. And here they have made a very interesting, let's say, overview of the future of aviation. And as you can see on your top right, we are going from a growth of the aviation sector to a transformation of the aviation system because of the need and the technology that we are developing now. So from top, we see commuter aircraft, then in the middle, regional aircraft, then medium range aircraft and long range aircraft. Each of these modes of aviation will be powered by different engines and different energy sources, sometimes blended like hybrids, but sometimes also different. This is what we see in front of us now. And we see also different scale of aviation and different models. So going now straight into the topic again, electrification of aviation. Last year marked the certification of the first electric aircraft in the world. It was EASA, my previous employer, where I worked for 14 years almost, that certified the Velis Electro from Pipistrel in Slovenia. Now, this was a fantastic achievement for many reasons, but first, I would say that it marks, and maybe prominently marks, the start of the new era, because this is the first time we could see that we could use the present rules with some adaptations to this new technology. And I know that this plane is now being sold to many users. There are too many, let's say, requests for the aircraft that they can meet, so they are slowly now distributing the aircraft around the world. At the same time, in Gothenburg, the plane that Janne already mentioned, the Heart Aerospace ES-19, is being developed. This is a 100% electric airliner certified for commercial flight as planned by 2026. And this plane is remarkable for many reasons, but not really for the structural design, because the engineers here decided to keep very basic structure using basic aluminium, not so much composites, because they wanted to focus on the engines and the energy system on board, which I think was a clever idea, because there will be further variants of this, of course, later on. But first of all, get the new propulsion technology and energy system on board and fly it. However, it's also used, it's designed by the latest computer technology, so they will have operational efficiency that we have not seen before. And this plane comes, of course, with a lot of advantages. We have zero emissions aviation. It's going to be quieter, safer, because we cannot go back in safety. So everything that we produce on the market has to be safer, more reliable, cheaper to operate, cheaper to fly, more efficient and more accessible. We can move on to a bit more, let's say, dive into the technology of the aircraft. And here, I'm just going to take this away. We have a zero operational emissions, so zero. We have low noise. And just as an example, just here in March, the electric aviation engine manufacturer Magnix or Magni-X made a test on their Canadian E-Beaver, which is a conventional seaplane that they have converted into electric. And it produces a noise energy level which is at least 100 times lower than compared to conventional aircraft. 100 times lower energy levels. That's quite remarkable. We will be able to make use of the vast network of small airports close to city centers. Like Janne explained, this plane will only require around 750 meters of runway. And we will be able to fly in a much more accessible way before, if we have the airports for it. It will also it looks like it will be much more cost effective than we have today, expected around 75% cost savings. In energy, around 50%, and then, of course, everything around the aircraft, such as maintenance. There is not a drop of engine oil in this aircraft, not to mention how much better this is for the working environment for the technicians, for example. So welcome to the new aviation era, an era which will look at or use electric energy for powering electric engines. And this opens up a world of new possibilities, because we can design aircraft and hovercrafts, helicopters, in a way that we could not do before because of the propulsion technology and energy technology. We also have a possibility to look at the airport, or we have to look at the airport segment, because these aircraft will fly in the air in a couple of years. Now we have to ensure that the infrastructure is there so that we can reap the benefits. So we are looking at the connected airport and also the automated airport, where we can automate as much as possible of the process. Airports such as Bromma Airport in Stockholm, such as Malmö, would be perfect for this kind of concept. The aircraft, or these let's say vehicles, will have varied propulsion, will have varied fuel, energy, will have varied crew and staffing. Some will be autonomous, some will be staffed or manned, and different levels of automation. And they will have new purposes. They will have introduced new missions or possibilities. They will have new users, operators. For example, municipalities could operate them, and they will be able to fly to new airports using new routes. So this will be an era where new transport combinations are possible. This is only a a few slides now to show you what's really going to happen in the next years, and we have to be prepared for this. This will also be an era where new connections are possible. So this is just to point the 400-kilometer range of the ES19 and put them in concentric circles, and we can connect whole of Scandinavia in a network with electric aviation. Wouldn't that be fantastic? The airports can again be integrated in the cities. We are talking about the old dream of an aerotropolis, because noise and pollution would not any longer be a huge problem. And look at also the connection with other transport modes. We are entering an era with a new way to view transport or transportation, a transportopolis, where all modes of transport are sustainable, interact, interdepend, and are fully integrated in our surrounding environment. So the result, as I see it, a safer, greener, more efficient, and more differentiated aviation system, which is adapted to and available for our common demand for sustainable and purposeful connectivity. Just to end this presentation with a very recent study that, among others, NASA is behind, and you can see the link there on the bottom of this page. They have made a study to look at what this regional air mobility could mean in terms of efficiencies and economies, and the conclusion is quite clear. And I would highlight the last sentence here that I copied in. The local airport you may not even have known existed will soon be a catalyst for a change in how you travel. So my very last words, cities will wish they have a city airport. Thank you very much. This is myself just recently at Bromma Airport, which today actually seems to be saved for the moment during a parliament discussion. And you have my contact details there, so please contact me if you have any questions. Thank you.